world's largest collector car auction house by total sales. They are the preeminent market maker of high-quality collector cars and collections, regardless of size or complexity. By working in partnership with the Sotheby's team and its network of 80 offices in 40 countries, RM Sotheby's has established the largest client network of any collector car auction house in the world. Join the RM Sotheby's family by connecting with one of their car specialists at rmsotheby's.com or contact me directly at gstanley@rmsotheby's.com. LLC TLC is here to save you money on all of your vehicle purchases. LLC TLC will permanently register your classic cars in Montana to avoid any annual renewal fees. As your registered agent, they will handle everything for you so you never have to step foot in Montana. And as a listener of this podcast, LLC TLC is offering 30% off your entire package. Simply go to llctlc.com/classic or mention this podcast when you contact LLC TLC directly.
All right, it is Sunday morning at the Breakers. You can see this behind me. The show's about to begin. So I'm going to pick out my favorite cars from the show today. But please look at my other videos. I picked out my favorite JDM cars to my favorite Youngtimers cars, muscle cars. So there's multiple videos from the Audrain Newport Concours Motor Week. It's really been fantastic. And the weather has definitely cooperated more than it ever has, apparently in the past couple years. So hope to have you join me on this. Really cool. If you can't make it out here, hopefully I can give you a taste of what the event is like. All right, this is my favorite Porsche here. Now this is probably the most historic and the most expensive Porsche in the world. This is a Gamoon Coupe, but not any Gamoon Coupe. So super early in Porsche's world, I guess, manufacturing process, I would guess, maybe 1948 or so. But this is the car that actually ran and won Le Mans. And a lot of cool features on this car. I'll just call out a couple of them here. You'll notice there's a slight difference in colors between the door and the back. That is per the way it was built back in the day. This handle right here is really cool. The recess behind it is actually larger on the race cars than it would have been on the street cars at the time. Another cool piece of it, history, is this little thing up top here is for an extra windshield wiper in case something happens to these two during the race. And there's actually a wooden box in the back in which they could pull out that windshield wiper during a race and continue racing and being able to see. So just an incredible historic Porsche, the most historic Porsche ever built. All right, this is one of my favorite cars here, 1976 BMW 3.5 CSL Coupe. Obviously, it's in the racing livery. Now, if you've listened to my podcast for a while, you know I have a version of this as a die-cast model that I played with when I was a little kid, and I still have the model, and it is beat to heck. It didn't have the big wing on it. I don't think it had the big wing on it. I'll overlay some pictures here so you can see what it looks like today, but it's missing the hood, but it's such an iconic car, and the die-cast model has been in my junk drawer for so many years. It is now in my office, so even though it's not worth anything and it's a hunk of junk, I love it because it represents this era of racing BMWs. So this is definitely one of my favorite cars in the show. Little AC Cobra. I love Fords, love hypo engines. The little 289 block is great for this car. The 427's also awesome, but it makes the front end very heavy. I don't need all of the side pipes and the hood scoops and the flared fenders. I also love the fact that this is blue with red interior. Europeans can do blue with red, light blue here, dark red interior. Looks really, really great. So take a look at this interior. It's about perfect. Got the Stewart Warner gauges, the little shifter. For the big 427 cars, it had the reverse Mustang shifter in there, but just a beautiful, beautiful car.
Audrain Newport Concours Motor. Please return to your vehicles. Judging will begin shortly.
Also love the little transistor radio underneath there. You do not see that very often. All right, here's one of my favorite cars at the show today. 1961 Maserati 350 GTS Denali Cabriolet. Now this is so cool. It's a fairly rare car, and it's very well presented, very well done, some great colors. But one of the reasons I really love this car, oh, look at the sticker there from 1973. One of the reasons that I love this car is I know the owner, and he had just taken it on the Colorado Grand, which is a multi-day rally, and he just could not stop talking about how great this car performed, what a joy it was to drive, and how reliable it was. The only time he said they stopped was to take a picture when they crossed the state line, which I thought was pretty cool. So it's here at the Concours, looking great. But this is definitely one of my favorite cars, because I love to drive my cars. All right, this is one of my favorite cars, 1929 Duesenberg Model J Custom Roadster. I love Duesenbergs, and this one is quite exceptional. Has a lot of woodwork on it, and you'll see here in a moment, but it starts up here on the hood. I'm not sure if that's mahogany or exactly what, but then it has, looks like ostrich interior, if I had to guess. Oh, sorry. You can see the wood comes around to the side, and here's what's really impressive is the back end here. Look at the woodwork here. Just the woodwork alone is amazing. Let's go back around here and take a look inside. You can see where all the feathers were for the ostrich.
And this is all like a boat.
This is one of my favorite muscle cars at the Audrain Newport Concours, 65 Pontiac Catalina 2+2. So this is the 421 engine with the tri-power. And I like my 66 Pontiac GTO with the tri-power, and I really appreciate the manual transmission and the way it runs and drives and the power. It's just such a smooth running engine, so I love the colors on this car. Just really well done. Red pinstripe, 2+2 in red. Super clean, super nice. You can see it has, 9 lug? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 lug wheels there. But very, very cool car. There's the original window sticker. Laminated. There's the 421. Here's another one of my favorite muscle cars, 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. Now this one I've seen before. This one, I believe it was at Moda Miami, and I know the folks that restored it. They do a tremendous job, but I love the colors on this car. Dark green, white interior, automatic, and you've got the white Daytona stripe around the wing here. Now there is a Superbird down here to the far right, and the wings are actually totally different between the two cars. You can see this is American Muscle Car Restorations. They do tremendous work. Actually took a tour of their shop a few years ago. Redline tires really set it off nicely. And then there you have window sticker. Looks like a reproduction window sticker, but still very, very cool. All right, well, technically not a muscle car. This is a pony car, but I'm putting it in my favorite class here. 1966 Shelby GT 350, 289, 306 horsepower. I love the color on this car. I also love the stuff I don't believe is factory correct. So the two things I can see from this angle, which I don't believe is factory correct, are the Krager wheels. Those would have been probably the early 65, or I'm sorry, early 66 carryover cars, where those were an option. Definitely an option in 65, but I don't think they were an option later when you started having pure 66 run, where they had blue, red cars. I think they're only available on the white cars. And then the side exhaust coming out ahead of the rear wheel, that is a 65 thing, not available in 66 from my understanding. But I'm always open to being corrected. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful car. All right, here's a nice setup of Ford Mustang. So it's pretty cool. 1970 Boss 429. That's the big block for 1970. Very sedate. Now this is the 1970 Boss 302, set up for SCCA racing. It's a high revving 302, 4-speed, no AC, no power steering. They all came with manual stick shifts. Can't really see it. The sun is very reflective right now. And this is the new version, the really cool Mustang GTD. So made for racing in the GTD class, which I am not familiar with, but this thing is really wild and crazy. Everything about this car is different than the standard Ford Mustang, which is why this has a sticker of, I want to say $300,000. But look, just look in the back there at the suspension back there. I think it's 500 horsepower, naturally aspirated. I don't have my stats in front of me, but it is an insane car that has nothing, very little to do with the factory Mustang. So I think this might be one of the instant collectibles. Yeah, extremely expensive, but extremely cool and extremely well done. All right, we will see, but this might be my favorite Youngtimers car here. 82 Chrysler LeBaron Woody convertible. Look at this. Talk about capturing an era in one car here. 82,000 miles, cassette deck. Look at all the switches. Look at the emboss on the armrest there. I just talked to the owner. He said it was something of a barn find when he got it. Very cool. You know, this is not worth a lot of money, but man, is it cool. All right, so this is in the running for being my favorite Youngtimers car so far. Let's see if something beats it. All right, here's another one of my favorites. This 2003 BMW Z8, but this is an Alpina. So for the Alpinas, this is cool. So for the Alpinas, all the Z8s were manual, but all the Alpinas were automatic. And so these are special Alpina wheels. Normally you don't see them with chrome on them, but that was probably a factory option. So this is a really cool example. Black, red and black interior. So it actually has a different engine than the regular Z8 with the manual. So this is meant much more for grand touring than straight out performance. It does have high level of performance, obviously, 375 horsepower, but a beautiful example here. Number 322 of 555. I think that might be US based cars. All right, this is one of my favorite Youngtimers cars, if you would call it that. It's in the Youngtimers class, a little bit older, but it's a sailing Mustang. But I love the paint job here. See it autographed? All right, so 2006 Extreme 101 with options, Extreme rainbow paint, glass roof, 550 horsepower, and you can see the paint changes colors as you go by. It's kind of like the Mystic Room from back in the day. Yeah, so it's not Youngtimers, but there we go. Nice shot of the paint change in here. All right, so it's Youngtimers with an asterisk. It's a decade or two off, but still very, very cool. Oh, sorry. All right, this is one of my favorite pre-war cars. Now, instead of me talking about it, why don't we have the owner, and he can give us a much better overview of what this car's all about. Okay, I have Terry here, and she just told me we're in the presence of a movie star. So tell me, why is this car a movie star?
So originally she was found, this is a 1924 Delage, by the way, with a Labrador body. It's the only Delage with the Labrador body, and originally she was found in a tow yard in London. And they pulled her out, got her all cleaned up. Her fenders at the time were painted cream, and she was a co-star in Chariots of Fire. And there's many driving scenes with her in there. After the movie, she got a full restoration. When they restored the body, they said that they did not have to restore much of it. So most of the body is original. 3 layers of mahogany.
Yeah, let's see it.
So we can show it in here. So you've got a layer this way, and then the inside layer goes that way, and then you have your top layer.
Oh, yeah.
All your copper rivets. It's got ash ribs.
It's beautiful, simple interior and instrument dash.
And then you do have your back opens up just like a boat.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. And then you open up your doors that way.
And then what did you call this style? You said it's the only one?
Labrador was the boat builder.
And the year and model of the car?
1924 Delage GL.
Okay, now you also have your period outfit on.
Yes.
So that's from approximately
20s.
20s?
I just kind of threw it together.
Just kind of threw it together.
Whatever
Well-
I had in my closet. No.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your wonderful car.
Thank you.
I'm going to do a quick walk around while the sun's on the other side. Such a beautiful car.
Good morning, everybody. With all of the concours entrants, please stand by your car. The judges are on the field and they have started to do their deliberations. So please make sure you're standing with your.
All right, here's one of my favorite pre-war cars, 1939 Bentley 4 1/4 liter Derby Vandenplas Honeysuckle. Now, honestly, I love old Bentleys. You can see the Flying B right here. But what really drew me to this car, as you can imagine, is the color combination here. This incredible gold with the red interior. Having a gold 66 Pontiac GTO, I'm really liking the gold cars all of a sudden. But, oh, this is cool. So right-hand drive, look at the shifter there on the far right. You got the trafficators that pop out for when you want to turn left or right. So you've got the nice music in the background. All right, so this is one of my favorite pre-war cars here, 1915 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost, London, Edinburgh Colonial Tour. But look at this thing. Stunning car. Got the engine on display here. Now, I do not pretend to know anything about these early cars, but I would love to know more. I would love to own one. I would love to drive one. Look at the leaf springs down here. Petrol, must be maybe a spare tank. Look at the gauges underneath, way underneath there. Just an imposing car. Look down here, see the brake lights. This is back when trunks were actually trunks. All right, here's another pre-war favorite of mine, the 1903 White Sea rear entry tonneau. So this thing's really cool. Now this is one that you could do the London to Brighton run as it qualifies, and it's a rear entry car. This is back when they were still trying to figure stuff out. So it's right-hand drive. They still haven't figured out if they wanted right or on the left. And let's look at the rear entry here. There it is. So you've got this nice little door. You can see it's got a lock up top here, little handle to open, a little step to help you get up there, and that's how you get in the car. Very cool. All right, this is one of my favorite Italian cars here, 1965 Lamborghini 350 GT Coupe. So this is the beginning of the beginning of the Lamborghini era. And this one looks to be very, 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 very dark blue, almost a black. But look at this cool pumpkin interior on it. Very beautiful car. Now I like these early ones. They're a little bit more quote-unquote pure. They don't have some of the additions and changes that were put on the next gen, which was I think it's a 400 GT. It went from 350 to, I believe it was 400. So very cool car. Most people don't realize this is a Lamborghini because it looks nothing at all like what we have out there today. All right, you know that one of my favorite Italian cars has to be a Ferrari, and I'm in love with this 275 GTB. Look at this, 6 Webers.
Yeah, so I came up last night and so the guy
Front engine V12, short deck, long hood. You got the gated shifter. And the colors are very striking on this car. So light yellow. And the tag says World's Fair, so it makes me wonder if this car was shown at or debuted at the World's Fair. I will try to get with the owner and find out. But covered headlights, this is quite a stellar example in some striking colors. All right, here's another one of my favorite Italian cars. Now this could also, in my mind, be in the muscle car category because of its power plant. 1970 De Tomaso Mangusta Coupe. Now this was the precursor to the Pantera everybody knows about, but I actually think this is a cooler, not necessarily a better performing car, but I think it's really a cool car. Look at the way the back of the engine opens up. Still kind of the same layout, you know, 2 seats, shifter. Probably gets pretty hot. You know, you can see the engine and the spare tire back there, and a little luggage space as well. Just a beautiful, outstanding car. Absolutely love it. All right, here's one of my favorite JDM cars / trucks / sport ute. Look at this. They've got all the fun stuff going on. This is a 1990 Mazda Bongo. But look at what they've done to this thing. It's right-hand drive. Look at it's a turbo. Right-hand drive, manual. Got a freaking Game Boy in here. The seats reversed. Look at this. They did a wonderful job. Even have the shoes. All the cool stuff. I love this.
Thank you.
It's got the original limited version stickers. Oh, look at that, the original Mazda, or probably the owner's manual and such. Very cool. Just think this is a neat, I would love to have this. And here's one of my favorite JDM cars. This is a 1990 Suzuki Jimmy. Now this is a JDM version because you can tell immediately. A couple of reasons, but the easiest is it's right-hand drive. Looks like aftermarket wheels, I would assume. But not only is it a Jimmy, it's a turbo. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. It's got the weight thing in Japanese. I love that it's got the original decals on it, which I'm sure are not being reproduced. It's in kilometers, as you would expect. Aftermarket Nardi wheel. The little vents up top. I'm sorry, little windows up top, not vents. All right, here's a weird and wonderful car for you. an AMC Ambassador. I believe this is original paint, but look at the two-tone, like a medium green metallic and a light cream. 360 engine, wagon. Look at the door handles here. Those are pretty cool. Got the nice bench seat here. It's got a couple dings and stuff, but it looks great. What's the DPL? Is that the owner's name?
No, that was the trim package. They had DPL and SST.
A DPL trim package.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
This thing is so cool.
and you could kind of, so this thing, believe it or not, actually lived in a junkyard at one point.
Okay.
So you can see where they scribed it in the 70, like in the junkyard marking. So
Oh,
it had
okay.
engine fire in 85, and the owner sent it to the junkyard. Albert, who found the car, he bought another 70 Ambassador, swapped the drivetrain out. It was originally a 390, now it's a 360. And yeah, he put it back together, sold it to Doug, and then I bought it from him last year.
So would it have come with those rally wheels?
No, so it actually had the, if you want to.
So you hot rodded it up a little bit.
I had to, so I was originally going to put, I'll show you this thing. So it came with the
Oh, that's cool.
the TurboCast hubcaps on it originally, and then one of the first things Doug did was put the AMC Mag style 5-spokes on it, and I have those wheels still,
Yeah.
but they're on my Javelin, and it has half a floor in it right now because I'm replacing the floor. And I didn't want to risk folding the car.
Oh my
in half.
gosh, these pictures are great.
Oh yeah, so I didn't want to risk folding the car in half to be able to just put wheels on it for this. So maybe next time, if I ever bring this back, I'll have the style wheels.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
The wheels look great on it. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all definitely, there's Skyline Drive. Let's see what. Then
Oh, yeah.
Mount Washington did that recently. So all sorts of good stuff.
It's a driver.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much for bringing it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, this is another car I'm in love with. 1991 Volkswagen Golf Country. So this is an actual four-wheel off-road. This is all factory correct on this car. Looks like it's been heavily modified to go off-roading, but it has not. It is the factory correct. Now this is the original wheel on the back, which apparently is unobtainium. So he has these other ones that look very similar to it on it. But this is all from the factory. These skid plates here for stepping up. I had never seen one. I think he said there were about 1,400 imported to the U.S. Love it. All right, here's one of my weird and wonderful cars. And you wouldn't think that this would be weird and wonderful just by looking at it. So it's a XJR6 Supercharged, 1995. You can see it's got some custom wheels on it. Those, I don't know if they came factory as a special package, but hang with me here. This is why this car is weird and wonderful. I've never seen this before on a Jaguar XJ anything. It's a freaking manual. So that's why this car is weird and wonderful, because it's actually an XJ that has a manual transmission. Okay, this is another really cool car, weird and wonderful. So this is a 1991 Sterling, made in Britain, based on a Honda Accord, but made to import to the US. So it's still left-hand drive. It just doesn't make any sense to me as far as why they made this car to begin with. But it's an 827 SL. So again, another car you never see. Probably never saw them when they were new. It's just a really interesting, weird and wonderful car. Weird and wonderful. I saw this on the road yesterday, which had to be terrifying. So this is an 1899 Dion Bouton tricycle. Look at this thing, unbelievable. The reason it looks so scary is because you're sitting so high up, and you got the little gas back here. You see, you got the little engine. This is back when cars, four-wheeled vehicles, were just beginning to become a thing. So he actually took this on the tour. And when I saw him fly by at about 35 miles an hour, I couldn't believe it. I thought the guy was going to flip any moment.